All right, here's your lesson while I am away from the classroom on dividing fractions and mixed numbers. So I felt like this was something on our pretest that we all, as a whole seventh grade Butler team, kind of struggled on. So if I'm going through some things that you already understand, that's fine, but I want you to make sure you pay attention to the little details. So your goal today is to be able to divide fractions and mixed numbers with accuracy. So if you are listing the factors of 36, I want you to quickly pause this video. I want you to list your factors of 36. This is kind of a review from our number sense test. And then I want you to unpause this. So go ahead and pause. And now take a look at what I have. So when I do factors of 36, I like the rainbows, but you don't have to do that if you don't want. You can use divisibility rules. So I like to say 1 and 36. I know 36 is divisible by 2. 2 times 18 is 36. It's divisible by 3. So 3 times 12 is 36. It's divisible by 4. 4 times 9. And then I know it's not divisible by 5, but 6 times 6 gives me 36. So you should have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 factors in 36. When I look at my problem solving, go ahead and try and solve this along with me. 2 pieces were cut from a sheet of tin 4 5/8 feet long. One piece was 2 1/2 feet and the other was 1 1/3 feet. How much of the sheet was left? So I have a total of 4 5/8. I have 2 sections, a 2 1/2 foot section and a 1 1/3 foot section, and I want to know how much was left of my total. So in order to do that, I need to find out what did I use. So if I had one section that was 2 1/2 and one section that was 1 1/3, this means I would want to put my 2 sections together to figure out what I used. I need common denominators. I know that 2 times 3 is 6. So when I find my equivalent numerators, I have to multiply by 2 on the bottom, and I get 1 times 2 is 2. Multiply by 3 on top. 1 times 3 is 3, and now I can add. So my whole numbers give me 3, and my fraction gives me 5/6. This is what I used, but it wants to know how much I have left. So I'm going to take my total, what I had when I started, and I'm going to take away what I had when I used everything up of my materials. Now, remember, we want the least common denominator. You could multiply 8 times 6, but that would give you 48, and that's a rather large denominator. So there is something that 8 and 6 can go into, which is 24, which gives us multiplying 8 times 3 is 24, so 5 times 3 is 15. 6 times 4 is 24, so 5 times 4 is 20. Now I can subtract, but wait a second. I can't take away 20 from 15 in the blue, so I have to borrow a group. So I'm going to borrow my wholes from my 4 and make it a 3. I'm going to then add one whole to my 15 24s, which means I need to make it the same denominator. So we just make it 24 over 24. I add that group together and I get 39 over 24. And I take away 39 minus 20, which gives me 19. Keep my denominator of 24, and then you can see that your whole numbers are just 0. 19 is prime, so my final answer is 19 over 24. That kind of reviews all your addition, common denominators, subtraction with mixed numbers, and borrowing, all for your test on Friday. All right, let's talk division. So when I'm dividing fractions, I need to change all my mixed numbers to improper fractions. So go ahead and write that in. The next thing I do is I always keep my first fraction the same no matter what. I change the division sign to multiplication. Write that in. I flip the second fraction, so it's not just called flipping, it's called the reciprocal. And then I followed my steps for multiplying fractions, which is to multiply straight across. So let's practice finding the reciprocal of a few different types of numbers. So when I find the reciprocal of a fraction, I'm just taking the numerator and the denominator and I'm switching their places. So 3/4 becomes 4/3. When I have a whole number, I want to place a 1 underneath it for the denominator first, and then I would want to flip the fraction. When I have a mixed number, I want to change my mixed number into an improper fraction first. So in this case, it becomes 7/2. And then I want to find the reciprocal, so 2/7. When I have an improper fraction, I just simply flip the numerator and the denominator. Reciprocals don't necessarily mean you need to find the simplified fraction. Okay, so we're just practicing switching places with the numerator and denominator. All right, so let's start the I do part on the slide, and I'm going to go through all these examples, and I just want you to make sure that you're taking notes and making sure that you have all the steps down so that when you take your test on Friday, you don't forget any of the steps or simplifying process. So in 2/3 divided by 3/8, I like to work horizontally, unlike adding and subtracting where I like working vertically. So I'm going to take 2/3, change it to multiplication, and find the reciprocal of 3/8, which is 8/3. I'm going to multiply straight across because I don't notice any cross canceling. So 2 times 8 is 16, and 3 times 3 is 9. Now a lot of times with division you get improper fractions, so don't forget to change into mixed numbers. 9 goes into 16 once, 16 minus 9 is 7, and 7/9 is in simplest form, so I get 1 7/9. Let's go to the next problem below that where I have a fraction and a whole number. When this happens, I want to write down my fraction, keep the same by changing to multiplication, and that 8 should be 8/1. So when you flip it to its reciprocal, it'll end up being 1/8. I do see some cross canceling. In the numerator, I have 4. In the denominator, I have 8. So I can cross out the 4 and make it a 1 by division of 4. Divide 8 by 4 and get 2. So when I multiply across, I get 1/18. Simplified. These next two have all mixed numbers. So I want to create everything into an improper fraction before I switch anything over. So 3 3/5 is going to change to 18/5 divided by, and 2 2/3 is going to change to 8/3. Now I think to keep, change to multiplication and flip, cross cancel, so 8 and 18 can both be divided by 2, so I get 4 and 9. Multiply across, 9 times 3 is 27, 5 times 4 is 20, and you'll notice again that's improper. So 20 goes into 27 one time, that leaves me 7 left over 20, and that is in simplest form. All right, in 5 3/5, change to mixed number. So change that from mixed to improper, that gives you 28/5. Divided by 7/6. Switch that around. 28/5 times 6/7. 7 goes into 28 4 times, and 7 goes into 7 once. So I get 24/5. Change that back into a mixed number. 5 goes into 24 4 times, and then that's 20. So 20 minus 20, or 24 minus 20 is 4. The denominator 5, so 4 4/5. So if you notice with division, when I have mixed numbers, it takes a little bit more work because I have to go to improper, keep, change, flip, multiply, and then I usually have to change that back into a mixed number from an improper fraction. All right, so we have the we do problems. I suggest right now that for these next two slides, you go ahead and pause the video, and it says that in red on the second we do. Pause the video and try the next slide by yourself, resume and check your work. I want you to do that here too. So for the we do's, if you're like feeling confident, I would go ahead and do these on your own just so you know for your test on Friday, like, hey, I am doing these right. And then come back to this video in your Canvas account and actually go over these by yourself. So I'm going to have the sub not play the video for this section, but I want you to go back, try this on your own right now, then go click on the video inside Canvas and check all your work for the next 3 slides. So I'm going to do these right now. So I have 10. I'm going to change this to 10 over 1. So 10 over 1 times reciprocal 8 over 7. There's nothing I can cross cancel because I cannot cross cancel from 2 numerators. So I get 80 over 7. So I have a little bit of division to do. 7 goes into 80 one time, which leaves me with 10. 7 goes into 10 once, which leaves me with 3. So that gives me 11 and 3/7 is my final answer. 11 over 2 multiplied by the reciprocal 9 over 4. Again, there's no cross canceling here, so I get 99 over 8. A little bit of long division to do. Gives me 1. Gives me 19, which gives me 2 on top. 8 times 2 is 16 with 3 left over, so that's 12 and 3 over 8 as my final answer. In this story problem, a punch bowl holds 24 cups. How many cup servings can the punch bowl hold? Obviously, the fraction's missing. That should say 1/2 cup servings. So it should be 24 divided by 1/2, which is really 24 over 1 times 2 over 1. And that would give you 48 cups. For the we do problem where you were supposed to turn and talk, which we're not obviously doing today with me absent, we're going to change these mixed numbers into improper fractions. You should have gotten 9 over 8 divided by 12 over 5. Keep, change, flip, cross cancel if you can. So you can divide 9 by 3 and get 3, divide 12 by 3 and get 4, which gives you 15/32, and that is in simplest form. For the you do problems, there's 3 of them. I really hope you tried these on your own before watching this video. You should do 1/2 times the reciprocal 5 over 1 and get 5 halves, which in return 2 goes into 5 twice, which leaves you with 1 left over. So that should have been 2.5 is your final answer. For 14, you should have put it over 1, multiply by the reciprocal 6 halves, cross cancel. So 2 gives you 1, 14 divided by 2 gives you 7. So that should have given you 42 over 1, so final answer of 42. And then, of course, you have 2 mixed numbers. That should have given you 28 over 1 divided by 9 over 4. When you keep, change, flip, there's actually nothing you can do here to simplify your process. So you're going to get 9 on the bottom, and then you might need to come up here and do 28 times 4 and get 112. Obviously, you should change that to a mixed number. So you have to do a little bit of long division. 9 goes into 11 once with 22. 9 goes into 22 twice, which is 18, with 4 left over, so your final answer should be 12 and 4/9 for the last problem on the you do section. I hope that you guys are understanding this, and go ahead and try your independent practice by yourself. Hope you're having a good day.